It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on a very windy, cold day from Central Virginia. I'm in Forest, Virginia, Bedford County, right outside of Lynchburg, and it is windy. Wow. We could get as much as 50 mile an hour gusts here today. Sustained winds of 15 to 25, I think it is. Just a tremendous amount of wind. It's a couple of them gusts have like rocked the house. So a little nippy. It's while the temperature is about 50 now, with that wind chill factor, it's down pretty low, and it's going to get down in the 20s tonight. So it's going to be cold tonight and tomorrow night. A couple of things to touch base on before I get to the stories today. Many of you already know I posted week 2 on my journal, my journey against with prostate cancer this morning. It's a tremendous amount of you have already watched that, commented on that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the comments and messages I get from you guys. That's just terrific. So anyway, that was posted early this morning as I continue with this journey. A couple of business things to brush up before I get to the news. On Thursday of this week at 2:00 in the afternoon, my time, so that would be 7 p.m. London time, we're going to do a Cruise Amigos live from Virginia show with the guest. Our guest will be the lovely Sue Bryant, the cruise editor of the London Times, who was on the Sea Dream last week and went through all the grief in dealing with COVID on that ship. Sue, of course, is back home now. She's got to be quarantined for 14 days, I think it is. But anyway, we're gonna chat with her and basically just get the facts of what went on, what happened on board the Sea Dream from her perspective. Of course, she has been a multi-time contributor not only to my channel but to the Cruise Amigos. We love Sue to death. So, and I'm sorry she had to go through, the situation last week, as did other friends that were on that ship and the folks that got sick. It was a bad situation. But anyway, we're going to get it firsthand from Sue on Thursday. Then on Sunday, we're going to do a special support a port, which of course is our new foundation to raise money for various ports around the world and the folks who are hurt the most. Like we heard this past week about some folks in Cozumel that literally are begging to get food to eat. They're hurting so badly. Some of the people that work and have lived off of the cruise industry for years and now have absolutely no income. So, but this week we're going to do a special show about Alaska. It's going to be coming from Anchorage, Whittier area. Of course, our friend Lady and her mom will both be there. And she's reported to us she has also gotten the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Whittier, Alaska, will be on the show also Sunday. So we're doing a special fundraising show to raise money for that area of Alaska. Any ports that you might want to support up there, that's fine too. But that'll be Sunday at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time and 8:00 London time. So get that out of the way. Good morning to everybody that's here today. Tom, Gretchen, Nikki, and Sonny. And by the way, I didn't get to it. When was that? Saturday. Sonny, thank you for the donation, PayPal donation. Anytime I get those, folks, I so appreciate it to help support the channel. That's just terrific. So And as always, I'm posting now a link. If you ever want to use it, hopefully you'll be able to find it easily. So anyway, that's gotten that. Now, getting on to the news for today, of course, the major story is Hurricane Iota. Hurricane Iota had landfall during the night. It's, of course, still spreading dangerous threat of flooding, rainfall, and damaging winds into Central America after making landfall in northern Nicaragua as a strong Category 4 late Monday night after reaching Category 5 status during the day. Now, even though this is an older, this was actually taken at 4 a.m. this morning, it shows the general path of Iota as it's pretty much going to go straight across the Central America this time. It's not going to be like Eta 2 weeks ago. Iota made landfall with maximum sustained winds of 155, so it had dropped down from Category 5 to Category 4 when it made landfall. Pressure was as low as 920. Landfall was at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night near the town of Haulover, Nicaragua, 30 miles south of Puerto Cabezas. Now, you'll recall that Eta last week was 15 miles south of Puerto Cabezas. So Iota came in 15 miles from where Eta was on November the 3rd. Both were Category 4s when they landed. Of course, the difference in this one is that Eta just kind of hung around for a while, and this storm, as soon as it hit land, it started weakening and has weakened massively. The latest readings on it, well, this would have been at, let's see if I can update that before I give them to you. You know, it's at 10 o'clock our time this morning. The maximum sustained winds are down to 75 miles an hour. So they've dropped considerably as it's come inland, 980 millibars. So the pressure has risen considerably. It's moving at 12 miles an hour to the west. And as far as warnings from the National Hurricane Center, life-threatening flash flooding, river flooding is expected through portions of Central America due to heavy rainfall from Iota. Flooding and mudslides across portions of Honduras, Nicaragua, and Guatemala could be exacerbated by Eta's recent efforts there, resulting in significant to potentially catastrophic impacts. Now, if you look at this the graphic that's up, off the coast, see that big blob of purplish and orangish and yucky stuff that at this time was still out over the water? That now is kind of trailing right behind the path of the hurricane and is now starting to dump just tremendous amounts of rainfall in Nicaragua and up into Guatemala as well. So this is the first time on record that two major hurricanes, Category 3 or stronger, have made landfall in Nicaragua in the same hurricane season, much less 2 weeks apart. The national database only documented 7 such Category 3 plus landfalls in Nicaragua from the mid-19th century through last year. Unbelievable. Flooding, rainfall, and mudslides are expected to be the biggest dangers for Central America now that Iota is inland, including in areas that were devastated by Eta's heavy rain earlier in the month. Eta's flooding impacts killed at least 120 in Central America and southern Mexico, according to the latest report from Associated Press. Honduras was one of the areas hardest hit by Eta's flooding, and any additional rain could worsen conditions. Honduras, northern Nicaragua, southeast and central Guatemala, and southern Belize may pick up 10 to 20 inches with isolated totals of 30 inches or more. And that's just today. So my hearts are out to all those folks in Central America. Goodness gracious, 2 Category 4s within 15 miles of each other in 2 weeks. Unbelievable. So that part of the world has just been devastated. So one of the things for sure, folks, we want to get this year over with from a weather standpoint, because it's just awful. Okay. There's a story that I've gotten basically 2 sides of this story since it broke. And I'm not sure that we know the whole truth. And that's, of course, about our friends at Bahamas Paradise. Troubles Cruise Line Bahamas Paradise has reportedly sold Grand Celebration, one of the 2 ships that compromised its fleet. According to numerous reports, the Grand Celebration was sold for scrap and is currently on its way to India. The town is best known as the home of Alang, the world's largest shipbreaking yard. Despite mounting evidence that the ship is on what would be her final voyage, industry site Tradewinds reported that Bahamas Paradise chief executive and a friend of this show, O'Neill Koza, was disputing that the ship had been sold and was attempting to find out where the rumors had started. Only hours after the CDC lifted the no sale order, which had been in place since March, the website for Bahamas Paradise suddenly went dark. By the next morning, the site had been scrubbed of any and all information about the ships or their itineraries. Instead, a single message was placed on the homepage and remains there. At least it was that way during the night last night. Dear customer, it reads, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line is pleased to announce that the CDC has lifted no sail order and provided new guidelines for cruises to resume sailing. Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line is now working to comply with all requirements to ensure a safe return for guests to Grand Bahama Island. The note goes on to thank their clients for continued support, adding they will be accepting reservations very soon. I'm not sure. You've got 2 credible stories with obviously 2 totally opposite outcomes. And I don't know which one to believe. I've tried contacting the folks at Bahamas Paradise. Have not gotten a reply back from them. I can understand that. You know, I'm a little guy and they're obviously dealing with some major issues. So I hope it's not true. I hope the original story is incorrect and the latter story is the correct one. But I don't know. I know there was the lawsuit over the wages to the crew and stuff. The judge threw out the offer, and that's still in litigation. But I don't know, folks. I really don't. I hope, because I really like these people. They've treated me well. And my next trip to Florida, I was planning on, I didn't care what, I was going to go on one of their ships. I hope that they can survive this. I mean, what can I say? I don't know. And I've heard it now on both sides, and both from credible people too, folks. These aren't just crappy sources. These are good, reliable sources. So who knows? All right. The good news above all, yesterday, of course, Moderna came out with their reports that they got on Sunday about the vaccine that they are developing for COVID. And it was very similar to the numbers that Pfizer had announced last week, or week before last, whichever it was, when they got their reports back, that we're looking at 95-ish effectiveness. The interesting thing about Moderna is it does not require quite as cold of temperatures as the Pfizer vaccine, so it's going to be a little more, a little easier to distribute and so forth. So now we've got two major companies. They will both be going for emergency use authorization shortly, as soon as they get the rest of their data together. And they're not in control of making up the data. That's done by independent sources. But the next step, of course, is the emergency authorization. And then they start the distribution. Of course, this, and you have to give credit to the Trump administration for their whole program on getting this done fast, much faster than ever before. We've got a chance to get two vaccines actually on the road very quickly, and start in on the distribution. Now, the problem that is coming from this, once the vaccine starts being distributed worldwide, the first to be vaccinated will be like old folks, the most likely to have serious effects from COVID, like me. Frontliners, doctors, nurses, care specialists, all fit into that early batch that are going to get it first. Anything to do with travel and fun things like cruising will be on down the list. And unfortunately, you guys that aren't of senior age like me and have health issues like me, you guys will probably have to wait a while. But it's still gonna happen sooner rather than later. Now, it's unlikely that the cruise lines or the CDC demand that people on board will need to be vaccinated next year. What is likely is that the process will be implemented over time. Just like some countries require certificates for things like yellow fever, they're mandatory in some areas. A COVID-19 certificate is likely to be mandatory. Now, once a certain percentage of worldwide population is vaccinated, it could be very well that a requirement from the CDC, cruise lines, and even governments that cruise ship travel is only for those vaccinated. By that time, it could be as simple as getting a flu shot. However, that is going to happen in time. So what people are saying now is that you get the vaccine out there, and to really feel its best effects to the point where it's really going to show, do some good. I mean, it's immediately going to start doing some good, folks. Don't get me wrong. But they're saying before this could really get things back to somewhat normal, we're probably not looking at 2021, we're looking well into 2022 to get back to what we're used to as far as cruising normally. Now, we're going to be able to cruise, I believe, clearly believe, in 2021. Some of you can. But they're going to be under all the special circumstances like MSC and Costa were using in European before things got tight over there. Of course, MSC is still sailing. Costa is stopped for the time being. But anyway, we're going to have those kind of requirements, I feel certain, on any cruise ships. They're going to, it's just going to be the way of the world for another year to 2 years before it gets back to normal. But don't get me wrong, folks. This is terrific news on the vaccine front. To have two major players in this thing are going to have doses available before the end of the year. Many of us, when the president said that, many of us thought he was nuts. But there are going to be some doses available. Now, there's not going to be the amount available that we were led to believe, but it's going to be started. Now, we got the whole distribution chain. Then we get into into the political thing of another administration coming in. Is the current administration going to work with them and help so that it carries on without bumps in the road? That's political crap again. But anyway, that's terrific news. I'm excited about it. I especially like Moderna, that you don't have to keep it at 90 below zero or whatever that god awful temperature was. So that's awesome news. Okay, that's it for the news. Let's jump over and see who's with us in the chat room today, since I have not been over there. Tom is with us. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Gretchen, Sunny, Nikki's here. 66 degrees in Jacksonville. Yeah, that's a little cooler. Gretchen says, we got our snow, but nothing stuck this morning. Beautiful and sunny now up there in Ohio, but cold. Yeah. Crisp night last night, now sunny and pretty down in Mississippi. Jason's with us. Rest in peace, grand celebration. Yeah, Jason, I agree. Yeah, but I don't know. They owe too much money to the crew. That situation is still out there as well. I recognize that as well, but I've gotten just two totally different stories from very reliable sources, both confirmed, and both 180 degrees difference. So who knows? Conchita, she's down there in Miami. I cruised with them once. It was the worst cruise I've ever taken. Only one elevator was working and there was no air conditioning. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Emily's with us up in New York. Hi, gang. Did I miss any ranting? No, I'm not ranting today. I'm actually being very calm and collected. Gretchen says, not much ranting. Emily says, how are you feeling this AM? Actually, I'm having a pretty good day. Emily, thank you for asking. I've been up since early. I didn't sleep all that well last night, but I wanted to get the video done because I didn't get to it yesterday. I didn't feel real great yesterday, but nothing like Saturday. But yeah, I don't feel too bad today. It's the typical thing of sitting, which I'm sitting, obviously. It's very uncomfortable. I do much better in my recliner reclined, where I can also put pillows under like my knee and get it at different angles. And so that doesn't bother me as much, and it doesn't pull. That's the difficult part about the whole thing with sitting right now. But hopefully this time next week it'll be out, and I'll have to worry about other problems, but that'll be gone. So, Tom Henry says, I can rant. Taking my X5 back to service. Front seat will not move. Front seat back is all the way back, and seat is back all the way. Great. Wow. Sorry about that, Tom. So Tom's doing the ranting today, not the fat guy. Hope to switch. It's just a problem. Okay. Conchita says, down, it's a beautiful day down in Miami Beach. The temperature is around 79 degrees. Oh, boy, would I like to see that. 79 degrees would be heaven to me right now. As you can tell, I'm in, winter stuff. Even though, it's not that, it's not that cold. It's a lot worse in some places. They're having snow and stuff, which we haven't seen a drop of snow, thankfully, for me. But anyway, that's what's going on here. Anyway, that's going to wrap me up today, guys. Thank you all for being with me. Again, if you're new to this channel, welcome aboard. We regularly do travel and cruise industry news Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. And then we have interview shows from Cruise Amigos that I co-host in London and in Virginia at various times. So you keep up for that. And we got one coming up with Sue Bryant on Thursday at 2:00. Don't forget that one. And then, of course, another big show from live from London on Sunday that we're going to do in Alaska. So that's it for today, guys. You guys all have a wonderful day. And as always, folks, stay at home if you can. If you have to go out, wear a mask, socially distance, do all the washing your hands and sanitizing and stuff. Let's all keep working toward the day when we can all get on a cruise ship and cruise again. So stay safe, wear your mask, guys. You guys have a great day. I will see you on Thursday, or if something happens major between now and then. But you guys all stay safe. Talk to you real soon. This is the old fat travel guy. You guys have a great day. Later, y'all.
Thank you for watching today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.